sorry, I wasn't getting the message.
Sorry. No, we were saying maybe he should speak over there so everybody can hear.
I just want to make a brief statement. These are all on this table as well, and personal attacks are just out of line. Please just speak to your issue. This is a public hearing to hear your issues. That's why we're doing it. And so we just love to hear what you have to say, but please refrain from public attacks. Thank you.
Sorry that you may have the opinion that I make personal attacks. I think the only time I ever brought anything up. All right, well, it seems like it was brought up just now. And just for the record, any time that I've ever brought any issue up, I've either made a formal complaint to the ethics board, or I've made a factual statement, and to this day, some of those statements have never been disproved. So I just want to make that clear. And also some of the boards, like for instance the ethics boards, never did act on those complaints. Well, right now what I was speaking on, of course, is this issue. And of course, when Council President Lesnick spoke, he gave a lot of credit to municipal boards that exist over the last several years. So we've had a board, a Charter Revision Commission. So it's very true, because many of these members are volunteers. They are very dedicated. I appreciate the service they give. However, I found also over the years, many of them have really been quite frankly misled. They're not made aware of some of the facts. They're not made aware of some of the rules. The 2006 Commission itself, it voted on an EIS project which benefited development. But of course, when I brought it out after the fact, that commission was not legal, did not have a legally appointed number that it was supposed to have. Don't forget, both members of the Board of Elections ignored it because it was an issue that should not have been on the ballot. And the other members that were sitting there probably were not aware that they were sitting on an illegal ground, unless you came up with a nice name since then. That was 2006. 2007, you issued a vote, members. I don't know if you're aware, but doing business over email after the final meeting of the year was not legal. That was not a legal vote. So when that issue went to the city clerk, that was not a legal vote. Because you don't vote by email. You don't decide issues. If you didn't have the final legislation, you didn't have something proper to vote on. So that's something else. It's just showing that you don't really know. So this situation, what I hope you all understand, is that you're looking at state legislation as well as city. I'm sure you've been advised. I can find nothing in the state codes that says you can give power to the planning board that's not really specified in the state codes. I don't see where the intention or even the direction is for issues involving land marking. It's involving issues clearly around development and construction and all that sort of stuff, not around land marking. It's a different story. I think you're stepping into an area that you may not be really, should be, not legally, if not proper, just for the sake that there is a distinction between land marking and development. Very simple. Each commission, each board has its own job to do. And to ask the public to act on that, I don't think that's proper. Because all the votes in the previous, your board never did one of the things a board is supposed to do. Remember, they're supposed to meet for 2 years. They're empowered for 2 years. Charged to review the entire charter, charged to give pros and cons reasons why you were changing something and why you were not changing something. That's what the whole job is. I used to be on the commission years ago. So, when the people went to the polls, they never had a chance to see anything. They never were educated, so what did they do? They don't bother looking at the top line. You look at the statistics and how many people actually voted on your resolutions. It's pitiful. Because they just say, oh, I don't know anything about it, and don't vote. Those who have a special interest, they know what to look for, and they vote. So you have to educate the people. You've got to tell them what to look for. And the final thing I have to say is I would like to ask the commission chairman to recuse himself on this issue. He acted as vice president for development.
It's 8 o'clock. I'm closing the sign-in sheet.
All right, well, as I said, I would ask that he recuse himself because of his employment for a for-profit developer. His employer is listed as a non-profit, but the company doing the development is a for-profit.
Austrian Spear.
Yes, my name is Martha Sparrow. I'm the president of the Ludlow Park Residents Association in Southwest Yonkers, one of the original older neighborhoods in Yonkers. It's between Ludlow and Cedar Mills is actually much younger than we are. We were one of the original neighborhoods designated potential historic districts. We've never made an application, but we're hopefully will soon. And we hope to make our application to the Landmarks Board directly. I was around back in 1990 when the Landmarks Board was established. There were a number of key people, including Rick Kern, and it was established very specifically to have the checks and balances. Can I please have your attention? Can you stop the clock? I'm not talking unless someone is fully paying attention. This board was established, the Landmarks Board was established with checks and balances. The mayor has the right to appoint the Landmarks Board members. The city council approves the final say. In between, there are, as previous speakers have said, a lot of various ways that compromises can be reached. Not everything has to be landmarked, and it is certainly up to the city council to do it. We, as a residents association, are very much concerned about the historic nature of the surrounding areas of our neighborhood. 30-some-odd years ago, the state and the city came through Riverdale Avenue, where there were wonderful residential buildings, 3 stories, single-family, 2-family homes. What do we have now? A pretty much devastated area, the entire stretch. Nothing was done. Another point that I would like to make. Historic site like Manor Hall should not be held hostage because a non-profit do-good organization, and we all love Graceland. I supported Bernie right from the beginning. It should not be held hostage because a high-rise building needs to be built. Compromises need to be made. And I have attended every meeting. I go to planning board meetings, I go to Landmarks Board meetings, I go to zoning board meetings, and people talk to each other, and they listen to each other. This particular organization has not come before the Landmarks Board with a serious compromise. All everyone ever heard was, no, we cannot do it. This is not going to work. We need the parking. So now they have the parking, and it's coming up with a 14-story building when it originally was supposed to be an 11-story building. The equation is wrong here. Okay? That's as far as landmarking the historic district is concerned. The other issue is, I am not stopping. No, Wani, the building at 87 Nepperhat was not approved, so we are not stopping, and the Landmarks Board is not stopping development. That's the point that I'm looking to make.
All we're asking you to do is keep your remarks to 3 minutes. We'll give you 20. And you can submit your proposal in writing by August 7th. If you wish to add additional comments, you can submit them by August 7th. Following that, and I read this, Belmont Place. Excuse me? Michael Sabatino. When you come up, you can say your name so we can get it.
Mr. Chairman,
Steve Burns.